Hi, Scrappers! This is a Marvelous Monday video. I have a card that I saw over at K Warner Designs, and so I thought I would share it with you. So let's get started. I have a 5.5 by 8.5 sheet of cardstock that I scored and folded in half. It's 4.25 by 5.5. My blue gingham is 4 by 5.25, and I just adhered it on top. Now for the brown paper, I don't have any dimensions. I just eyeball it. So here I'm going to draw a line, a curved line from one corner to the other, and I'm lining it up, to where I can get a good look at it. So with your pencil, just start at one corner and just kind of sketch you an arch down and around, and just use a light sketch with your pencil. That way, it doesn't leave an indent in your paper or anything. Then I'm just going to cut it out. When you're cutting, make sure that you move your paper, not your scissors. You get a smoother, more even cut when you do that. Trim it up. Make sure it's the way you want it. So here I'm going to look and make sure that's where I want it. And I think that's where I want it. I'm just going to erase my pencil marks that are left over. Nobody's going to see them. And I'm going to take some adhesive, and this is not my normal adhesive. So get another one. Oh, that one's empty. Try again. There we go. This is just Tombow mono adhesive. I love this stuff. This is like my favorite. And I'm just putting adhesive all along the edges. And here I am putting it down, but I was putting it down the wrong place, so I had to pull it off. Luckily I didn't press it down yet. So I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to unstick it from my mat. And then I'm going to just turn it over and then trim off the paper on the bottom, and if there's any on the side, trim it off too. And of course I have some on the side, so I need to trim it off. You can use your trimmer or your scissors. I chose to use my scissors. I just think it's a little bit easier when you have adhesive on there. Now I'm going to take the red cardstock and I'm going to place it on top, and I'm realizing that my paper is not tall enough, so I need another piece. Went and got some and used my paper trimmer to make it wider. This little spot, ignore those little spots, they're driving me nuts. It's where I stuck my card earlier. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing, kind of. I'm sorry that this is blurring in and out. I don't know why the focus is being weird. But you're going to do the same thing with this one as you did with the brown one. You're going to sketch a line from one corner to the other, also with an arch, but you want it a little bit lower than the brown because you're trying to make it look like hills. So just go over your sketch mark and get it about where you want it. And then I'm going to cut this out. Again, you can use your trimmer or your scissors. If you're using your scissors, just turn your paper. Do not turn your scissors. Just erase any, marks you left behind. Nobody's even going to know they were there. And I'm going to place this right here. I think about right there. I'm going to make a line, and then I'm going to cut it off with my trimmer. Fisker blades rock. Okay, look at that. It just cuts like butter. I'm so used to having jagged edges. I was like a kid in a candy store when I found out how well that was going to work. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to put adhesive on the brown part because last time when I did the other, it stuck to the mat. So, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some letters and I'm going to place them on some craft cardstock, and I'm going to make this say just a little note with the stickers, and then I'm going to handwrite just for you. A little note in stickers, and then just for you. I'm going to handwrite it out. So we're just going to place these on here, and you want to space them apart just a little bit to where they're not touching each other, but they'll be easily cut out, and we're going to, put them on here, and then we're going to cut them out, and then we're going to place them on our card. I'm just arranging some to get started. Okay, now we have them on our sheet of cardstock. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and we're going to trim each one. We don't want it right up against it, but we do not want a bunch left over on the sides. So just trim these all down, and what I'm doing is I'm just going in between each letter and trimming them down a little bit, and then I'm going to cut them all the way across on the bottom. And then they're going to be each individual little pieces. It feels like it's taken me forever to cut all these pieces. And then I'm just going to go across the bottom, and they're all going to fall off. And then we're going to arrange them on the back side of our red cardstock that we cut earlier. And it's easier if, you put some adhesive down. I thought about using my 2-way glue pen, but I thought, no, this will be easier. Well, guess what? It's not. So I started arranging, and I put the first letter, which is A, on one side, and then the last letter, which is E. But I'm lining all these up. I'm putting all the letters in order. That way when I put them on, they actually say what they're supposed to say. See, I left out my L. Now I have to rearrange and put my L back in there. But see, that's why I always lay them out first. So I have my A on there, and now I'm going to put my E, which is the last letter in note. And then I'm going to place the rest of these on here like so. Well, now I'm going to have to get my 2-way glue pen anyway because the adhesive, well, these are little tiny pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some Zig 2-way glue pen along the edge to help the adhesive out. It just works better when you're using smaller pieces. It just helps a lot. So we're just going to put a little bit along the edge, and then we're going to line these up. And don't press them down too hard. That way if you need to move them around later, then you'll be able to. This stuff dries pretty quick, so you want to work kind of fast. So we have a little note, and now I'm just gonna, I was gonna run adhesive on there, but they were starting to move a little bit, so all I did was just take regular Scotch tape and taped over them a little bit. That way I know that they're gonna stay. And then after that, then I'll run my adhesive over it. And I just stick adhesive everywhere. It doesn't matter. And then place that on your card. And then turn your card over and trim the paper that sticks off the edge, which I knew a little bit would, so it's no big deal. And what I'm going to do now, I have another piece of paper. It has dots on it. It kind of coordinates with it, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to have one more layer that you're going to arch. And I think I'll put it about there. And you want to bring it up and over. I think this card is so cute. I I love just this layout. Um, you just do your arch the way that where you want it and everything, and then line it up, and then erase your pencil marks, and then add adhesive on the back and put it onto your card. You can add adhesive to the back or straight onto where you're putting the um, cardstock. It doesn't matter. Whichever you prefer. And then I'm lining this up on the edge. And then you just press it down. And then the stuff that's hanging over the bottom of your card, you just flip it over and cut it off. You use your paper trimmer or your scissors, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to add some dots to the end where it says a little note. I'm going to add 3 little dots with my Signo Uniball white gel pen, broad. And then I wrote on there, just for you. Now I'm going to take this stamp. This is just a dollar stamp that I got from Michael's. It's clear. It's acrylic. I can cut it. It's not going to affect the stamp at all. And all I need is the bubble. I don't need the words in the bubble, and I don't need the bubbles at the bottom. I'm going to use this as a cloud. I'm going to take my black StazOn ink, and then I'm going to ink it up real good. And I'm going to stamp 2 of these because I want 2 clouds. I stamped more than 2 because I was not happy with 2 of the stamps. I pressed too hard and it made it fan out and it looked weird. So I continued to stamp some more, and I'm happy with the bottom 2, so I'm going to cut those out. And the others I'll just use for something else. So when you cut them out, make sure you leave a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch around the outside, and it just makes it look like it was punched. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to line this up because I didn't put them on first, which it doesn't matter. I'm going to draw a line that ends up to where it meets the bottom of my cloud. The heel meets the bottom of my cloud. And then I'm going to trim it a little bit more because it wasn't arched enough. And then I'm just going to put adhesive straight onto it. I was going to put them on pop dots, but I chose not to. If I had to put them behind, I probably would have, but that's fine. Now I'm just going to stick this one directly on also. So I'll just add some adhesive, put it over in the corner. It's a happy little cloud. Okay, and then I'm going to write the young man's name into the corner. This card is for an autistic individual that he's very sweet, but he loves getting cards. So this is my card for him. This is my first one, so his name is Sebastian. So this is my card from Marvelous Monday, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment or any questions you have below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.